East Alabama and beyond, we welcome you into Southern Sports Now here on this Wednesday. It is June the 14th. I'm Chase Robinson. So glad you are joining us today. We've got you covered for the next hour here on the East Alabama Now YouTube channel, on the East Alabama Now Facebook page. We are live. We invite you to like, to share it with your friends on social media, and to comment. Whatever you think, we'll get to those comments as we move through the show today, but we are certainly excited for our show. Got a couple of guests that will be joining us today. We'll be talking Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame with Ken Grissom. The induction banquet is this weekend, so we'll talk about kind of the history of the Hall of Fame and then get into the inductees for this year. We'll also be talking with the new head football coach of St. Clair County, Tyler Robinson, will be joining us later on in the show as well. So we got a lot to get to, but as we do each and every day, we'll start out with our top 5 headlines of the day. So let's jump to that. As first up, the Braves and Tigers last night up in Detroit postponed because of some weather coming through the Detroit area. So they have a doubleheader today. And we'll see Spencer Strider on the mound in Game 1. Dylan Dodd will take the start in Game 2 for the Braves today. But that game from last night postponed due to weather. On the high school baseball front, we've talked a lot. You have the All-State team that comes out. Of course, Mr. Baseball was named on Sunday night with Hayes Harrison, but the Super All-State team is the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Gathers the top 10 players in high school baseball, no matter the classification, and 2 Calhoun County guys on the list. Of course, Mr. Baseball, Hayes Harrison, made Super All-State, but Peyton Webb of Donahoe, he was the 2A Player of the Year. He was named to the Super All-State team there for the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Big honor there for those guys, so congratulations to Hayes and Peyton both. Here's some cool Major League Baseball news. The 2024 Field of Dreams game between the Giants and the Cardinals, it looks like they could be playing that at Rickwood Field in Birmingham. If you big baseball fan, you know the history of Rickwood Field over there, and so that would be huge to have a Major League Baseball game come to the Birmingham area. I love the Field of Dreams game. They play it up in Iowa right now where they filmed the movie. But that field is under construction, and so they are looking at Rickwood Field of being the home of the Field of Dream games in 2024. I know if that happens, I will certainly do my best to be there. That would be very cool for Birmingham. Also, the SEC football schedule will be released tonight for 2024. I know a lot of talk has been, well, you know, who's going to play who, what's the schedule going to look like, no divisions. Well, you'll find out tonight what the SEC football schedule will look like in 2024. The SEC Network will have a primetime show at 7 p.m. tonight releasing the schedule for 2024 as Texas and Oklahoma will move into the Southeastern Conference. And we've talked a lot of golf lately with all this going on with the PGA Tour and LIV. Well, a guy that's got a lot of FaceTime over the last couple of weeks, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan, recovering from a medical issue, has had to step back from his duties, and one of the associate commissioners is taking over for the moment. But big news in the golf world, a guy who's, again, been in the news a lot, now recovering from a medical issue. So those are just some headlines from across the world of sports, and we'll get to some of that later on in the show. But coming up next, we're going to talk some Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame Board President Ken Grissom is going to join us in studio. We'll do that on the other side. Stick around. More Southern Sports Now in a moment.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
You see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you this segment of Southern Sports Now. Ted's Floors and Beyond, of course, is where you can get all of your flooring needs, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, luxury vinyl. But the cool part now, the Beyond part there in their name, they've partnered with Welburn Cabinet to now offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, and tile showers. I was just seeing some pictures on their Facebook page of some of the kitchens and bathrooms that they've been able to work on. They look beautiful. So Ted's Floors and Beyond, they always offer 0% interest financing for 12 months and free in-home estimates. You can get a lifetime warranty on your flooring installation. And my favorite part is they're locally owned and operated, which means you go in there, you're going to meet their friendly staff. They're going to help you get what you need, and they're going to do the job right. So Ted's Floors and Beyond is the place you need to go, right off Highway 431 there in Anniston, or visit them online, shopteds.com. And we're excited about this weekend because it's the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet, as 6 new inductees will be heading into the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. And to talk about that with us now, we welcome on the board president of the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame, Ken Grissom. Ken, appreciate you coming in to talk to us today.
Absolutely, Chase. We're appreciative to have us on and be able to talk about our event.
Yeah, well, we'll get to this year's inductees in a moment, but let's talk a little history of the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. For those who may not be familiar with when you guys got started and everything, give us a little history behind the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame.
Love to. So this Saturday night will be our 18th induction. Our very first induction class was 2005, so a group of 15 started meeting in the fall of 2004 under the leadership of Coach Bill Jones. And we had our first induction in June of 2005. And as I say, this following Saturday night will be our 18th induction. This will be 112 local athletes and administrators that will be honored.
That's awesome. That there's something like that in Calhoun County to honor these coaches and athletes. So how does it happen? How do you how does the inductees get picked? And I know that has to be a tough process.
It is, and so as a board, and we're a 15-member volunteer board. We're a 501c3, so a nonprofit. But for the nominations, the way our bylaws are set, Chase, we're not allowed to do the nominating. We're dependent upon the public to do those nominations. So we're forever seeking new nominations. A really neat thing about our nominations is once nominated, you're nominated forever. So it's not like you have to be nominated again next year if you're still eligible. So we're dependent on the public to submit those nominations.
Yeah, and how could they go about doing that if they wanted to?
We have a website, and that would be CC Sports HOF, so www.ccsportshof.com. They could go to that site and do the nomination or find any of our board members, and we'd be glad to take those.
Yeah, and you mentioned you're the board president, but 15-member board with a lot of folks that I know people around here would recognize. You're a fantastic board.
It's made up of volunteers. We have a couple of guys that have been inducted in our Hall of Fame that have come on to help us. But like I say, we are a 15-member board. I have a great support team. John Holder is our vice president. Mike Henderson serves as our treasurer. Carolyn Matthews is our secretary. I'm going to leave someone out, but we just have a fantastic board. Don Hudson, Mark Jones, Connie Davidson, Carolyn Matthews, as I mentioned. So just a really diverse board.
We're talking Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame with board president Ken Grissom, and this Saturday night the banquet, and always Father's Day weekend. You do this. Tell us a little about kind of how the banquet works.
Oh, it's a special night, and we purposefully choose Father's Day weekend because it's just a great opportunity for families to gather, and a lot of dads and mothers being honored on this night. So it will be at the Oxford Civic Center. Our reception will start at 5 o'clock. The actual banquet will start at 6:30, and we will be through by 8:30. So we have a catered meal and a very nice ceremony. So we'd love to have each and every one to come.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, you can see the plaques and everything there in the county administration building is where all the inductees plaques are on the wall, which I think also is really cool. Anytime you go in there, you can see what the Hall of Fame is.
You can see all 18 plaques, so all 112 inductees are honored there in the county administration building. So we're very appreciative of the Calhoun County Commission for their support and allowing us to hang those plaques there for the public to enjoy.
Yeah. So this year, 6 new members heading into the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. Mike Battles, Chris Garman, Barney Wilson, June Evans, Jason Jack, and Terry McCord, the 6 heading in.
What an awesome class. And a diverse class that covers different schools, that covers different sports. We have a couple of coaches there. Coach Evans, longtime coach out at Welborn, so we're excited for her to be going in. Coach Battles as well. Yeah. So, just a couple of Welborn Panthers going there.
Yeah.
You mentioned Terry McCord, an outstanding basketball player here for Anniston. Terry went on to play at Troy University and has been inducted in the Troy Hall of Fame, so very proud of him. Chris Garman is an outstanding story. Chris was a White Plains baseball player, tremendous athlete, but a couple of years at Jack State, he made All-American, so just real proud of him. Jason Jacks he quarterbacked a couple of state championships down at Oxford. So, proud for Jason to be going in. Yeah. And another Yellow Jacket being Barney Wilson. So, Barney was a great athlete there in Oxford, Jack State, and beyond. So,
yeah, very good class coming in. And you mentioned, it's some people may think, oh, it's just coaches or it's just athletes, but you mentioned it's you got coaches, you got athletes, you got anybody involved with sports can make it.
So our mission, Chase, is to honor those that have brought honor to Calhoun County through sports, and that could be as an athlete, that could be as a coach, that could be as an administrator, that could even be a broadcaster. So Malcolm Street was one of our early inductees, so a little tip of the hat to Malcolm there.
Yeah, and so it's a great class, as you mentioned. Some people may know a couple of names, may not know some of these names, but like you mentioned, great stories for all these athletes. There's a reason that they're being inducted into the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame is for what they meant to sports here in this county.
You know, to the entire county in sports, but the class and the grace that they represented their schools, that they represented their communities, their families. So just quality individuals all the way around. And so that's one of the criteria that these inductees are judged on.
Yeah, we're going to show you some of the inductees going in, some pictures of them as we'll roll through those. And, you know, as we just look through some of these guys, as you've mentioned, this class, really special players, you know, guys who've been there, done that, if you will, in sports.
And so successful, even beyond sports, and impacted so many people in so many ways. You can ask any of these players that played for the coaches of what Coach Battles, Coach Evans meant to them. Chris Garman was an outstanding coach as well.
Yeah.
So Jason Jack has been very successful beyond athletics. I'm very proud of him. He represents his family very well.
And you mentioned Coach Mike Battles, just knowing coaches who coach now after they played for Coach Battles, just what he meant to them, and now kind of help them get into the business now.
Absolutely. What a family tree or a coaching tree that would trail back to Coach Battles.
Yeah. Really good stuff. We're talking Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame with Ken Grissom, the Hall of Fame board president. These 6 inductees will be honored this Saturday night there at the Oxford Civic Center in the 18th induction banquet for the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. And for those who may want to attend, what's the ticket situation like?
Well, Chase, they're very limited, but there are a few left. And so you could call 256-282-3380. Again, they're very limited at this late of the game, but if you'd give that number a call, we'd see if we couldn't work you in.
All right. And I know it's got to be a big honor for these inductees when you give them the call and tell them or their family that they're heading in.
That's one of the highlights of our role with the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame is that initial conversation, and without fail, you're kidding. You know, it's just they're so humbled, and it's just really a neat thing. And this year, sadly, Chris Garman has passed away, and I think to that call that night, Chase, and just how humbled he was with that, and just couldn't believe it, and looking so forward to this evening. So his family will be here in his honor, and just a big deal for the White Plains community, for the Jacksonville State community, and especially for the Garman family.
Yeah, that's really special that they're going to be able to be there and accept that for him. That's really special. But coming up Saturday night, again, the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Ken, really appreciate you coming in and talking with us today about it. And I'm excited for the banquet coming up Saturday night and for this class that'll be inducted.
Well, Chase, we certainly are appreciative of the opportunity to talk about it and just spread the word about our event.
Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame this Saturday night. And you can go by the county administration building again and see all of the inductees so far in the 18 classes of the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. We'll be back with more Southern Sports Now in a moment.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
East Alabama Now Local News has been bringing you the best local news coverage for 6 months. And now we're growing.
EAN News will be available to you 5 nights a week with new faces, new content, and coverage that is second to none.
We'll be bringing you the weather that matters to your neighborhood and to you. Rain or shine, you'll be in the know.
Sports always brings communities together, and EAN Sports will have coverage of all of our area events.
East Alabama Now, local news, new faces, same great coverage. Starting 5 days a week, May 1st. EAN Local News, your news on your schedule.
Southern Sports Now continues on this Wednesday. I'm Chase Robinson. Glad you're hanging out with us this morning. Hope your day's off to a good start. And coming up tonight, the SEC will be revealing the schedules for 2024. And I'm excited for this. Several reasons. I'll give you in a second. Obviously, with 24, Texas coming in, Oklahoma coming in, no divisions in the SEC, and an 8-game schedule. That's what we're looking at, and that's what I'm excited to see how they're going to work this when it comes to laying these conference schedules out. There's been some leaking today, but we'll find out for sure tonight what this looks like. And a couple of things I'm interested in seeing is, first of all, how they fit Texas and Oklahoma into this, how often teams will play this, how they're going to fit them into the 14 teams already, how often they'll play, if they're going to keep this Texas Oklahoma rivalry intact. We know that Texas A&M rivalry will resume. So I'm interested to see kind of how they fit Texas and Oklahoma into this. I'm also interested to see the matchups, since there's no divisions now, what matchups we'll see. If we'll see Georgia, Texas A&M, every couple of years instead of every 12 or however long it's been that they haven't played. And how often will we see maybe Georgia, Alabama, or Alabama, Florida, or Auburn, Florida. There's been some big games there, and how often will we see like Auburn, Oklahoma, or Auburn, Texas? I mean, the possibilities are endless, and so I'm excited to see how often these teams that we don't see play a lot will play, and what rivalries are locked in. Will we see Alabama, LSU every year? Will we see Auburn, Georgia every year? So there's a lot of questions going into this. I think the Iron Bowl will stay intact. I do think Auburn, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I'd love to see Auburn, Tennessee, every couple of years or so. So the possibilities are endless of what could happen. So I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see who's going to host the first Texas A&M game. And the reason is there was talk last week. Ross Bjork, the athletic director at Texas A&M, said, the SEC already told me that we're hosting the first one. Texas A&M hosted the last time the two teams played. So I'm interested to see who's going to win that battle of who gets the first home game. That was a bitter rivalry, and I'm excited to see it take off again, as they'll be in the same conference. But I'm interested to see who's going to get that first one there as a home game. But I'm excited to see the schedule reveal tonight. Usually, they've done this the last few years, and usually, I'll check it out the next day or something. But I'm excited to see tonight. I'm going to check this out because this is an exciting time in the SEC. Adding 2 good football teams, adding the no divisions, just all that's going on with the scheduling and how many games are going to be. I'm excited to see this and the possibilities of some really good football games that we're going to be seeing across the SEC. So that is coming up tonight. The SEC Network will have that in the primetime slot. They will unveil the 2024 schedules for all the SEC teams. And so we'll give you a full rundown tomorrow of what those look like and our reaction from the SEC schedule reveal. So again, we'll do that tomorrow here on the show. We're going to talk some high school football coming up next as Tyler Robinson, the new head football coach at St. Clair County, will join us right here in studio. So stick around. We got more Southern Sports Now in a moment.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brodney Sneed from both CARES and Direct Primary Care. Direct Primary Care is an exciting new model of medical care growing on both the East and West Coast. It's been recommended by Forbes and the American Academy of Family Physicians and others for individuals or small businesses with or without health insurance. The pure simplicity of a membership model streamlines the burden of medical care. It eliminates 60% of the overhead. That streamlining allows providers time to focus on patients with free, no copay, no deductible, unhurried office visits or telehealth visits with minimal waiting room time. It produces same or next day appointments and access by text or telephone during and after hours. It saves you from leaving work, wasting time and getting exposed in a waiting room, and the convenience and cost with barriers removed helps one avoid letting problems like a sore throat turn into an expensive ER or hospital visit for pneumonia. If you're interested, search the web for CARES Direct Primary Care.
We continue here on this Wednesday, Southern Sports Now. I'm Chase Robinson. Glad you are hanging out with us this morning. And we're going to talk some high school football now as season right around the corner. Teams in their summer workouts, getting ready for the 2023 season. We're going to talk some St. Clair County Fighting Saints football with their new head football coach, Tyler Robinson. He joins us in studio. And, Coach, appreciate you coming in today.
Yes, sir. Chase, appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And first year there with St. Clair County, first year head coach, first high school job, man, you're knocking it all out this
A lot of firsts going on there.
So tell me a little about yourself. For those watching who may not be familiar with Tyler Robinson, give us a little background.
All right. Well, I was born and raised in Oxford, Alabama, right down the road. Currently, still live there actually right now with my wife, and I have 2 daughters. I have a 4-month-old as well as a 2-year-old, and we're living with my parents right now as we build a house. Right. So we got a nice little house full going on in Oxford, Alabama right now. But my wife is originally from Talladega as well. And so we're coming back towards home, man. And that's kind of one of the reasons I took this job, and to get us a little closer back towards home, towards family. So, grandparents love seeing them grandbabies, man. So, having the opportunity to come back up this way and be back towards them has been a major blessing, man.
Yeah, so when this job came open with St. Clair County, I know You've been as an assistant in the college ranks.
Right.
High school job comes open. What was the appeal to take this job?
I kind of reached that point in my career. I coached college football for 10 years. I was a graduate assistant at Jacksonville State for 3. Been an assistant coach at Huntington College, Birmingham Southern, as well as Maryville College in Tennessee. Now I was very blessed to be able to be at really in Alabama pretty much my entire career, except my first job being in Maryville, Tennessee, just for 1 year. So being able to be in the college ranks and staying in your home state, it was pretty cool, to have that opportunity to be able to do that. But the thing that kind of drew me towards St. Clair County, really, like I said, one of the big things, we want to try to get back towards home. But I kind of reached that point in my career where I was ready to take that next step. You know what I mean? And so it's been a lot of changes and very different, to say the least. But I was ready to take that next step to be a head coach. I felt that, again, I'm only 31 years old, young, okay? Yeah. But everything I learned in the college world, I've been around some tremendous programs, championship programs that got me ready to do what I'm doing at 31. And I just felt like I was ready at that point in my career and my life to take that step, to take that big step and, to find out if I'm any good at this or not, too. You know what I mean?
So what would you say maybe some experiences from what you've done as an assistant college that you're going to carry over now as you take over your own program, as you call the shots as a head coach?
Right. So again, I've been blessed. Every program I've been a part of, it's been winning programs. Back through the years, and again, I'm not an egotistical person. I'm not a look at me person. I've just been very fortunate to be a part of championship programs. So, at Jacksonville State, we won 3 conference championships in a row while I was there. At Huntington College, my last 4 years, we won 4 conference championships in a row. So I've learned how to win, you know what I mean, and what it takes, the kind of culture it takes to win, and building it the right way. That's one thing I'm most thankful for. Being my head coach, I played for Oxford, which Coach John Gross my last 2 years. But the 2 years before that, I was with Coach Josh Niblett, who still a lot of people are very familiar with around here. So 2 great men that I learned a lot from early. And then I went to work for Coach Gross down at I played at Huntington College as well from 2010-13. Played football down there for Coach Mike Turk, who's still the head football coach there. So being around those men who built championship programs, but the one thing I loved most was they did it the right way. And they were great men that you could go knock on their door and have real conversations with. And that's something that I always wanted to try to be. When I was able to step into a head coaching role, that was my goal one day. And, here I am. And but that's one thing I wanted to try to do was implement. When I got there, I wanted to be that kind of mentor. You know what I mean? And again, I got told at a young age there's no college football coaches, at the time I was a college football coach, without college football players. Yeah. And you talking about getting punched in the face, you know what I mean? Of a reality. So I realized why I do what I do. And taking that with me and learning that stuff is what I'm trying to implement at St. Clair County, a winning culture. Know that these players are loved and taken care of. And because at the end of the day, when they're happy and they like showing up for work and you like showing up for work, that's how you get things done.
So how do you kind of implement that? And you hit on it there at the end there, but how do you implement that winning culture? I mean, you look at St. Clair County; they've been struggling the last few years. You're stepping into a program that that's hungry to win. How do you bring that to them?
Right. It's not easy. It takes time. There's no question. But that's one of the things, too, that I talked to the guys about when I first got there. Like, this is going to be a process. In the world of what we live in now with social media, people don't like process. They want results now. But I was straightforward with them. It's going to take time. But to me, like I said, you have to build something. And but walking through the door, I immediately, I'm a person who believes in hard work. And I told them that's what we're going to do. If you want to win, it takes hard work. You don't really just show up on Friday nights and beat somebody. It's all about the work you put in beforehand. So we have literally when we step through the door, and I'm very thankful. I have a couple of coaches that had I kept on my staff when I got there that had been pushing them in the weight room as soon as the season ended. So doing that and teaching them how to work hard, that's the kind of stuff that we're putting them through the ringer. I'm not going to lie to you. They're getting after it right now. But that's what it's going to take to win. And so that's, to me, that's a mentality thing too. It's not just physical. It's a lot of this game and a lot of the really good teams figure it out with mentally. And we also push them spiritually as well. I'm a firm believer in that. And, challenge them every aspect of their life is going to make them good football players. But to me, I've learned the formula over the years, again, being part of those championship programs, I have learned that if you create good young men and teach them how to be good leaders, that later in life to be good husbands, good fathers, you teach them how to do all that stuff and to work hard, they make for pretty good football players too.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where we're trying to start. We're teaching them how to work hard first is where we're trying to implement that culture.
We're talking with new St. Clair County head football coach Tyler Robinson. And Coach, I know you come in first year, first summer, you get to spend with the guys. Just talk about kind of what you're doing. One, to build relationships, and two, to just prepare for the season as these guys are trying to learn you and you're trying to learn them.
Right. It's it's been a lot of fun, and really we started some workouts last Monday, so we go on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 10, and on Wednesday mornings we go 7 to 8:30. So we're 4 days a week of getting work done. We start with workouts in the morning, and then we transition to a meeting room, and then we transition out on the field to get some practice in, some work done out on the field. So that's kind of our routine that we're in right now. I'm a creature of habit. I love being in routines, and and they can get old sometimes. But to me, that's how you create consistency. And that's something, again, you kind of mentioned that we haven't had a lot of consistency at St. Clair County High School. Been a lot of coaches changes over the years, principal changes, things like that are going on. It's hard to create consistency that way. Yeah. And so these kids have really never experienced anything like that. Trying to earn their respect as early on is a big thing. Each kid's different. And, when you have about 70, 80 of them running around, you got to get to know each one. Yeah. And, trying to learn who's who and them figure me out as well. That stuff takes time. Relationships take time to build, but that's the big key, man. You get to learn these kids and get to know them individually. Yeah. That's how you take that step of, man, they'll go run through a wall for you. You know what I mean? And you show how much you care for them, then they'll relay it right back to you.
And just as you begin coaching there at St. Clair County, and again learning the guys, them learning you, what's the numbers looking like? Good numbers out. I know 5A school. What's the numbers looking like?
Right. So last year I think they ended up somewhere around 45 kids on the team. For a 5A football program, it's pretty low. Yeah. Right now we should be. I have the summer workouts. We've been consistent somewhere around 75, 80 kids. Okay. So we got a lot of kids. We have a pretty big group coming up from the 8th grade, about to be 9th graders. It was a good little size group, but we also had some kids that have kind of stepped out of the hallway to come be with us, and that was kind of one of my first objectives when I got through that door was to, all right, let's see who can come help us. And so we've had quite a few kids come out too that had not been playing, which is exciting. You know what I mean? Trying to create that new atmosphere for them to come out and enjoy it. And it's a great game, special game. And now I'm also not going to be naive. It's not for everybody either. Yeah. Football's a tough game for tough people, you know. And but I'm excited where we're at. So we're floating around that 75 to 80 range right now, which is really exciting.
You play in a brutal region. Leeds, Moody, Alexandria, Southside, Lincoln, Springville. I mean, those are tough teams. How do you prepare you guys for what's going to be tough games? I mean, every Friday night.
Right. And, that's we do. And I've recruited this area too. My years at Huntington, I recruit a lot of these areas. So I know a lot of these high school coaches. Coach Hood over at Leeds does a fantastic job he to me is an epitome of consistency. They're good every year. Southside, Coach Holcomb's done a great job over there. Moody, Coach Gaines did a great job stepping in the doors there. Those are kind of the ones that people look at up here in Northeast Alabama in 5A football. My objective, and again, I told the guys walking through the door, is I don't worry about anybody else. I worry about us. It doesn't matter who we line up against. Everybody is nameless to us because as long as we handle our business, I will take us. And that's the big focus. You know what I mean? We're trying to worried about everybody else. We lose sight of ourselves and what we're trying to track and get done ourselves. So that's why I kind of really been hammering on them early is I don't worry about anybody else. I want to focus on us. And we'll go week by week and take it week by week. And I love playing strong opponents. You know what I mean? It's only going to sharpen us. So I'm excited for what we're going to have coming. We have a lot of good, talented players. The talent we have around there is pretty darn good, to be honest with you. It's pretty special. Got a couple of game changers that can really, blow the top of it out wide, and our defense is going to be stout. So it's a tough region, but it's going to make us better in the long run. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. We're talking St. Clair County football with their new head coach Tyler Robinson, and I'm curious, and I like to ask coaches this, especially younger coaches who've played in high school, college, and now coaching. how have you seen the game changed? I know you could say a lot here, but how have you seen the game change since you played high school, college, and now the opportunity to coach?
Right. So to me, the game is much more offensive based now, if you ask me. And I've get asked this quite often now. Young coaches, you see a lot of young coaches as much as myself, you know what I mean, that are kind of taking over programs. But to me, as far as the coaching staff goes, you have to have a good mix too. I'm not going to sit in here and act like I know everything in the world. I'm very fortunate that, again, one of my big defensive coordinators, his name is Barry Simmons. He's been doing this for a long time. He was the defense coordinator at Handley at one point during the state championship. So having a mixture among your staff, I got some young coaches, but I got some experienced coaches as well that, having that mixture, I think makes for what we need and what these kids need. As far as the game itself, it has transitioned, like I said, is very offensive based. You look at scores now, even in the college world, high school, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're looking at 45, 35-point shootouts. And the big thing is offenses are built to be explosive. The game is a lot more spread out than it used to be. It used to be a lot of wing tee going on, and as many people in the box as you can get in there. And but to me, it's all about the explosiveness on offense now. And defensively, you pretty much got one job, is to contain the big play. Try to make offenses go 10, 12-play drives and try to score touchdowns on you consistently. It's hard to do. So containing big plays on defense, and offensively, you got to have a good scheme, and you really got to have good guys who can go, like I said, score at any moment.
Yeah. And just for maybe some St. Clair County fans watching, what are they getting in Tyler Robinson as their head coach?
Hopefully some wins. That'd be nice. But, well, look, again, I'm not an egotistical person. I'm not a look-at-me person. I'm all about us, I want these kids to experience. Again, we've been 1-39 in 4 years. Okay, been 0-20 in the past 2. These kids really don't know the taste of victory, to be honest with you. I actually asked them in the gym just the other day. I said, raise your hand if you've ever won a varsity football game here. About 6-7 hands went up. It's shocking. You know what I mean? So I feel like once we get that taste of what it's like to win, especially after I'm putting them through the ringer, we're going through a lot of hard work right now. Yeah. When they see it pay off, I think that's when exciting things are going to happen. Yeah. So with me, man, I'm a firm believer. I'm putting God first in everything I do. He is my foundation, and He's going to be the foundation of a lot of what we do. And I think that's where you build, and that's what we're doing a little bit, and implementing some of that in our program. But I'm a young man who's ambitious, and I have an ambitious staff who are ready to go win, who know how to win. But I want to teach these kids a lot about life too, because I want them to be successful when they walk out the doors as seniors, whenever that may be, that they are better men from leaving our football program, and go impact this world that needs impact. And be different than everybody else when they walk out. So that's my end-all, be-all. Again, now we got to win games in between, because I don't want a for sale sign in my front yard either. Okay, but to me, like I said, that formula, you teach them how to be good young men, good men when they walk out those doors. They'll be pretty good football players for you too.
It's good stuff. Tyler Robinson is the new head coach of St. Clair County football there. Well, Coach, really appreciate you coming by, talking with us. Looking forward to seeing St. Clair County football in the fall. Appreciate your time today.
Yes, sir, Chase. Appreciate you.
We will have more Southern Sports Now coming up in just a few minutes. We'll talk some Alabama baseball. New head coach introduced yesterday. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
If you see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Southern Sports Now here on this Wednesday. Chase Robinson here with you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. A couple of great guests here on the show today. We talked with Ken Grissom of the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame earlier in the show. Appreciate Tyler Robinson, new head football coach of the St. Clair County Saints, coming in and talking with us. I'm going to shift gears, though, to the baseball field as Alabama. We talked about it yesterday, hiring Rob Vaughn to take over the baseball program for the Crimson Tide. And, of course, Brad Bohannon, the former coach, fired back in early May during the betting scandal. Jason Jackson took over as interim head coach, and he will be staying on staff as associate head coach, but Rob Vaughn of Maryland is taking over the head coaching position. He had his introductory press conference yesterday, and he talked a little bit about kind of what led him to take this job at Alabama.
As this process unfolded, we started having a lot of conversations, and very honestly, one of the people I'm the biggest fan of in this room, and I know Greg already alluded to him, is JJ and what he did. The biggest thing that drew me to Alabama, outside of the prestige, outside of all those things, is the people. It started with Greg from that first conversation. I was in my basement. I walk upstairs afterwards. She's like, "Hey, how did it go?" I'm like, gosh, if I didn't have interest then, I certainly do now, because that was an unbelievable conversation. And then I start watching the 2023 team. I start watching how they faced adversity, and remember that Friday night against Vanderbilt, and not thinking that team had a chance to come out and compete at a high level. And good gracious, not only did they do that, they went on a magical run and made it a heck of a ride. I was convinced they were going to Omaha. I was convinced we were going to have to wait another couple weeks to have this conversation, and I would have been really happy for that. But what a special group of young men, what a special group of coaches to lead them through a very challenging time. So,
and he's speaking very highly of Jason Jackson, and obviously, as he said, one of the reasons that he came to Alabama was to have Jackson on staff, and he's able to retain him as associate head coach, and I think those two will work fantastic together. But I'm really impressed with Rob Vaughn and what he's bringing to Alabama. I think you couldn't have asked for a better hire, and I think, like he said, what Alabama did made this job appealing to coaches. How they battled adversity. They could have easily given up, as we've stated so many times. After May 4th, when the news came out about Brad Bohannon, this team could have laid down and been finished. But they fought and were 2 games away from going to Omaha. And so I think that was appealing for a lot of coaches, as it was for Rob Vaughn, to want this job, to want to come coach these guys. Of course, there'll be several seniors, but a lot of these guys will be back. And so I think that also led to Vaughn wanting to take this position, and so I think he's going to do great things. Obviously, he won at a tough place in Maryland, and he had a winning record last 2 years, Big Ten Coach of the Year, won the last 2 conference tournaments, regular season champs. I mean, he won at Maryland, which is a tough place to win, and so if he can do that there, then he's stepping into a position, and he talked about this, just kind of the tradition at Alabama, and how he's now stepping into that, and I was excited to see the tradition continue.
I look at the tradition here in the former coaches, Coach Sewell, Coach Schollenberger, Coach Wells, and obviously JJ and what he's provided. Just an unbelievable group of that. And you start looking at it, and I hear people say all the time, here's the advantages. Here's what's great about this place. Here's what's not great. You can't win here. You can't do this. You can't do that. But I look at a couple things. Number one, 16 first-team All-Americans. That'll play. 164 draft picks and 69 big leaguers. You can do it here. You start looking at it, 2,700 wins, 14 SEC championships, 7 SEC tournament titles, and the list goes on of what this program is capable of. and I'm excited to roll up my sleeves and get to work.
He's a young guy. People like him. Again, he's been successful. I think Rob Vaughn is going to have a great run at Alabama. And just hearing those numbers, it shows you can do it at Alabama. You can be successful in baseball. I think back to Jim Wells and the success that he had there in Tuscaloosa and leading the team to the College World Series championship back in 99 and the runs in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like you can win baseball games at Alabama, and I think Rob Vaughn is the guy to help do that. And so I'm excited to see what he can do there for the Crimson Tide. But I think a lot of Alabama fans are excited, especially after hearing Rob Vaughn yesterday in his introductory press conference of what he's bringing to this to this baseball team and being able to keep the guys on staff that he did and the guys that are staying. And he worked the transfer portal well in Maryland, so I imagine that he'll do the same in Tuscaloosa and bring guys in who are hungry to win and want to get this team to Omaha. That's ultimately the goal, to get to the College World Series and to win it. And I think he has his eyes set on that, and it's capable. And, I think Alabama, and like I said yesterday, Auburn did a good job of hiring Butch Thompson. He brought him in. He had a lot of success winning and was able to take that team to Omaha. And Auburn's going to be a team year in and year out who is going to have a chance to go to the College World Series. And I think with this hire with Rob Vaughn, Alabama's going to be a contender every year in the SEC, and every year they could be in the Supers and having a chance to go to Omaha. So I think that teams are now catching up with the rest of the SEC. Auburn and Alabama both have done that with the coaches that they have. Really special guys, and it's going to be fun to see Alabama baseball moving forward in the Rob Vaughn era. Also, some Braves baseball to touch on before we let you go. Last night's game in Detroit, like we said in the headlines, they had to push it to today, and so doubleheader for the Braves today. They're in Detroit. They're going to get that going around 12:20. So right after lunch, you'll be able to watch some Braves baseball. Spencer Strider will be on the mound in Game 1 today. He'll open the doubleheader, and then in Game 2, you'll see Dylan Dodd take the mound. And so they've kind of moved things around. Smith Schaefer was originally scheduled for Game 3, but because of how they're moving things around, they want to give Dylan Dodd a chance to get in there and start. So he'll have the opportunity to get the nod in Game 2. So a lot of baseball to be played, and sometimes that goes in favor of Atlanta on these doubleheader days. Maybe it takes a little bit for the offense to get going. You're kind of in the groove by the time Game 2 rolls around, and so we've seen it play in favor of the Braves in these doubleheaders, but certainly excited to see what they can do, and we'll see if it plays in favor for them again today. But anytime you play two games though in one day and then have to hit the road and go play another game tomorrow, that's a lot of baseball for 2 days, and so we could see also it affect the Braves negatively as well. But I'm excited to see what Spencer Strider can do. His last start was not his best start. He's a guy that we've seen pretty consistent this year. He's been second in the rotation behind Charlie Morton since the other guys have been out. And so Strider's a guy you need to see him go deep. He's a guy that has good control over his pitches, and so hopefully we'll see that from him this afternoon in the game. But he's been a true game player for the Braves the last couple of years. I mean, he's a guy you see consistently throwing around 100, 101. Upper 90s most of the time, and so he's got a great arm. Again, Detroit is they've got a losing record. They're not a great team. They beat the Braves in Game 1 on a walk-off, and so the Braves they're behind. And so this is going to be a really big test of these two games. How can Spencer Strider do? And then you're throwing a new guy out there in Game 3. The Braves need to take these two today as they get ready for their series there with Colorado. But certainly excited for some afternoon Braves baseball today there in Detroit. And last night, anytime you get warmed up, ready to go, and then the game gets canceled, that kind of throws you off as well, especially baseball players being creatures of habit. But certainly excited for some Braves baseball this afternoon. You can see those games, both of them, there on Bally Sports Network. So Braves afternoon baseball today. We mentioned at the top of the show some big honors for a couple of Calhoun County guys. Mr. Baseball Hayes Harrison made the Super All-State team. Peyton Webb of Donahoe on the Super All-State team. If you missed my explanation of that, I've had people ask me, well, what is this Super All-State team? So the Alabama Sports Writers Association obviously has the All-State team, first team, second team, honorable mention. They also release a Super All-State team, which is the 10 best high school baseball players in the state of Alabama for this year. And 2 Calhoun County guys made that list. So 2 of the 10 right here from this area. Hey, again, it shows the quality of baseball, the quality of talent we have here in the East Alabama area. But congratulations there to Hayes Harrison and Peyton Webb. Peyton was the 2A Player of the Year from Donahoe, and obviously Hayes, 6A Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year, Mr. Baseball, State Championship MVP, Gatorade Player of the Year, all those fun things. Hayes has brought them home this year. And so congratulations to those 2 guys on making the Super All-State team. That is all the time we have for you today. Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Again, appreciate our guests, Ken Grissom, Tyler Robinson, for stopping by and talking to us. We will be back with you tomorrow for more Southern Sports Now. Be sure to tune in tonight to the EAN Local News right there on the EAN News Facebook page, on the East Alabama Now YouTube channel. If you missed any of the show today, go back and watch it. It was a good one there on our Facebook and YouTube pages there, and we will do it again tomorrow from 10 to 11 a.m. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.